You just focus on yourself more than anything. You can get into it and try to predict it in your mind what you think and go that way. That normally doesn't work. Whoever you think is probably going to win isn't. It's kind of the rule of thumb. We will work on a couple different things from Rutgers and a couple different things from Michigan, and just kind of discuss that with our guys. Not a lot of stuff because first of all, you don't want to waste time. And then second of all, it's just one of those things where you're just kind of working on yourself, trying to get better, and just try to help you prepare for your game on Friday at noon.
Regardless of who you play, there's going to be some differences with Rutgers and Michigan. Rutgers doesn't have Mag anymore, and Howard probably would play for Michigan.
Right.
How does that change their teams and what do they face on Friday?
Well, Mag really gave him that extra defender, that guy that could guard a lot of different people. If they'd go to their 1-3-1, he'd be on the top of that 1-3-1, kind of causing havoc. But he's just gotten better each year and made improvements. It was sad to see him go down and miss the rest of the year, but you can kind of see from how they've played like they really miss him. And he did a lot of things for them. But they still have good interchangeable pieces. Caleb McConnell, was out, I think, a game or two, but still had a lingering injury. And so, it kind of gets difficult at the end if you lose somebody, you have some injuries, and then all of a sudden, you don't quite have the record that you thought you were going to have, but you're still a pretty good team, right? And they've struggled to score where they were scoring the ball better at the beginning of the year, where we played Michigan without Jett Howard. So obviously, he averages around 15, 16 points a game, can really stretch the floor, very talented, just a big-time shot maker. So it's just kind of like with Mag, it's one less guy, and then with Jett Howard, it's one less guy. It just is. Now, if you play Rutgers, Andre Hyatt has really had a pretty good year. He's done some good things, and that's who starts instead of Mag now. And so they still have those interchangeable pieces with McCahey, McConnell, and with him, whereas like Jett Howard, that just puts a little bit more on Bufkin, and I think you see him being more aggressive when Jett Howard's not out there, and I think he's had a really good year. But that tandem of Bufkin and Howard to go along with Hunter is pretty tough to deal with. So.
What do you need to get out of this week, whether it's 1 game, 2 game, 3 games, to go into the NCAA tournament feeling you're playing your best?
Yeah, you just want to put your best foot forward. It's what are you playing for? You're playing to beat the guy in front of you. Don't overthink it. It's okay, you're playing for a 1 seed, you're playing for a 2 seed. Don't overthink it. It's hard enough the way it is. Just keep it on Rutgers or keep it on Michigan, whoever comes our way, and then just keep that focus right there. And that's the best way to go about it, to give yourself, the best chance to win those games. But obviously you want to win them all, but you can't do that unless you win the first one.
You guys win the Big Ten by 3 games. Only get 1 player named to the All Big Ten. Is that something you have any thoughts on?
Oh yeah, we got what we came for. Yeah, so that's fine. If they want to vote that way, they can vote that way. But everybody in our league and every player would trade positions to be where we are. So that wasn't our goal. Our goal this year wasn't to be all conference or coach of the year. Our goal was to win the Big Ten, and we did it. And we did it by 3 games. If people out there that vote don't value winning, it just shows you they don't know much about basketball. But I do my voting, and unless it's extreme, when it gets to the end for me, it's winning versus losing. If you want to put somebody on an all-conference team, that lost more than someone that wins, he better be considerably better than him. Because if it's close in the way I vote, I go with the guy that wins. I always that's what you play for. You don't play for awards. You play to win and the satisfaction of winning, and you shouldn't get off that. So like I said earlier, we got what we came for. We came to get up the 25th Big Ten championship, and we accomplished that. You just got to keep moving on.
What is your take on the importance of the Big Ten tournament after winning the Big Ten regular season title already?
I think the importance is playing well more than anything. I used to put great stock into it, and you'd get down, and you go into the tournament, or you get on a high, you go in the tournament. Sometimes playing better would hurt you versus, not playing as well. It kind of gets you on edge, which I know doesn't make a whole lot of sense on the outside looking in. So there's a lot of different ways things can happen. You got to psychologically get yourself ready to play in the NCAA tournament. You just do, no matter what has happened. So sometimes winning it or winning a game or two, like, okay, we played well, we did some good things, then you don't quite play as well. That's the whole thing, is just trying to have a gauge on your team. It's just not that simple. It's not a cookie cutter where you can have just a blanket answer and tweet it out, and that's just the answer. It's just not the way it works. You got to have a pulse on your team and a pulse on the situation, but it's also competition where you're going against somebody else too. So there's a lot of variables involved.
And you mentioned just taking it one game at a time. How do you kind of instill that in your players to make sure that they're not looking too far down the road?
Yeah. If you lose, you go home. That's just simple. You got to get yourself ready, and you have to have more hunger than your opponent. This isn't going to their place, they're coming to yours. It's going to be a neutral site, everything's straight up, and you got to be able to do the things necessary to put yourself in position to win, and then be able to make those positions and make those plays to win those games.
And how do you get them ready to potentially play multiple days in a row and not really have much time to rest and reset?
Yeah, you win the first game. That's how you get them ready. Yeah, no, you don't talk in theory. You don't talk in the whole. You just talk Rutgers or you talk Michigan.